Hey everyone, and welcome back to another deck guide, this time featuring the Pool 2 deck that I've been using personally to absolutely slaughter through Pool 2. As soon as I got all the cards for this, I've basically just been playing it, and it's absolutely awesome. Got me close to 150 Infinite just halfway through the season, which is really damn awesome. And so I would really, if you have the cards for this, it is really damn hard to build, but if you have the card for this, you gotta try out Pool 2 Infinaut deck. But let's go ahead, start with the deck breakdown, because we got a lot of cards to go through. Really, the absolute core cards in this deck, you got your Infinaut, can't play this deck without him, or at least it'd be really, really difficult to. Chavez is a Pool 1 card, so you shouldn't have a problem with that by now, but she's really important just for draw consistency. And Sunspot. This guy, I mean, one of my favorite one-cost cards now in the game. He's just so incredible, and there's some times where I'm not even joking. I play this on turn 1, and then I just pass Infinaut, and I can win games just off that. So Sunspot's really great. You're getting 1 power for every time you every unspent energy, and because you're playing Infinaut, which, I mean, this sounds like a really awful card when you look at it, but it lets you pass your turn 5 and then just slam this guy on turn 6, and congratulations, you've basically won a lane by himself. Now, the real important part about this deck is, if you watched my video about 2 locations, I think that in Pool 2, playing for 2 locations is really powerful, and this deck can just absolutely do that. So you have basically, you have your Infinaut, who's going to win you 1 location, and then you got to win 1 location through, I guess, like, normal means, right? And that's kind of the complicated part about this deck. You're going to be playing cards like Sunspot, Ebony Maw, and Storm to try to lock down locations early, or playing things like Shang-Chi, or Killmonger to basically kill cards that they have. So let's actually go through this entire deck list. Sunspot, again, you play this card turn 1. You're going to pass whenever you can, because getting energy on this guy lets him solo win a lane, and then Infinaut solo wins the other lane. Ebony Maw, damn, this card is really crazy, and I didn't expect to play this. Originally, I was playing Enchantress in this deck, but I didn't really like Enchantress that much. I didn't think she was getting a lot of value. So instead, I tried out Ebony Maw, and I think this card's really good. Like, really good. You could do some really cool things with him. For example, you can play him in the same lane as your Sunspot. So sometimes I'll do something like Sunspot, Armor, and then, like, Ebony Maw, or Scorpion Ebony Maw. And in 3 turns, you've played this, which is, like, an insane amount of power, because you're just going to pass turn 4, you're going to pass turn 5, and then you're going to play Infinaut. This guy is Sunspot's going to get 9 power because you pass turn 4 and turn 5. Ebony Maw represents 7 on his own, which is insane. And Scorpion and Armor are just great cards. Scorpion, another amazing Pool 2 card that, every time you play this card, you're going to be pretty happy. You play this on turn 2, it's going to subtract 1 power from their entire hand, which is going to really target a lot of those zoo decks. It's going to hurt a lot of people playing, any kind of discard deck, because now they just have weaker cards in general. So yeah, I really, really love Scorpion. Armor, again, this is like one of the coolest cards in Pool. One of the best cards to be playing in Pool 2, just because it's going to protect your Sunspot, and that's really, really what you want from this. You want protection for your Sunspot. Because there's going to be new tech cards in Pool 2, such as Killmonger. This is a big reason why I don't really like playing Zoo anymore, because Killmonger exists. And if you're playing Zoo, yeah, you're gonna get owned by this card. I really like Killmonger. Unfortunately, I actually think he's the weakest card in this deck. He doesn't see as much use as I thought he would, but he can be really helpful against any kind of Zoo style deck, anyone who's still playing Khazar and stuff like that. And you can still get value with him if your Sunspot is protected with an Armor, right? So I think Killmonger is still playable. However, I might experiment with this card. It's probably the one card that I'm not like 100% sure of, but he is really cool and he's fun to use. Now let's talk a little bit more about our tech cards. We have our Shang-Chi coming in. This guy, I mean, there's a reason why this is like the most played card in the entire game. Shang-Chi is just really awesome. Destroys an enemy card that has 9 or more power. This is going to help you make some incredible swing turns, because if you think about it, destroying a card that has 9 power and representing 3 power on your own is a 12 power swing for 4 mana. And he can do some really cool things once you get a little more comfortable with this card, such as turn 6 reads as to what your opponent is doing. And hopefully we can kind of showcase some of them, because I've won a lot of games just, abandoning the Infinaut win condition and just saying, hey, I think you're going to play an Apocalypse or an America Chavez here. Let me Shang-Chi, and congratulations, we've won. Really important when you're playing Shang-Chi to also be thinking about order. You never want to be in a place where you're playing him first and he reveals first. You want to make sure that they're going to be revealing first if it's not already played yet, if you're trying to go for the hard read. Now, Infinaut's really good because he's going to win us a lane by himself, but we got to think about how can we win the other lane. And that's why Storm exists. I used to play this deck without Storm. I think I was playing like Cosmo or something, and I hated Cosmo in this deck, but I love Storm. I think Storm is awesome because what she's going to do is she's going to flood the location, which means that this is the last turn cards can be played here, and cards can't be played here. Meaning if you play this on turn 3, they only have turn 4 to play a card. So if you have Sunspot and you've got armor and now you play Storm, congratulations, you just won that lane all by itself. There's nothing they can do about it. They can move cards there, but honestly, move decks kind of suck in general, so you're not going to see that many of them, although it's probably the hardest thing for this deck to deal with. And then, because you still have your turn 4 play, you can play one of 2 conditions. You play your Jubilee, who is going to cheat a card from your deck, right? And we've got a lot of things to cheat. We can cheat out our Infinaut and just win the game on the spot. We can cheat out our America Chavez. We can cheat out our Vision. We can cheat out Jessica Jones, who's our other turn 4 win condition. If you don't play a card here, plus 4 power, well, again, if we're playing it in Storm anyways, this is the last turn cards can be played here. We're not playing anything on 5 anyways. This is going to represent 8 power on its own. Really great card to play on turn 4 after Storm. So yeah, Jubilee can cheat out all 4 of these big guys, and Jubilee can also sometimes cheat out Ebony Maw, which is not that bad. Getting this guy out 7 power with Jubilee is totally fine, because we're passing turn 5 anyway, so Ebony Maw, we don't really care that much about him. So yeah, this deck, it's just really damn sick. Finally, just talking about a little bit about our big guys. Vision is just a turn 5 play. He's really good because he can... I don't think there's anything super special about him or the fact that he can move every turn. But we just need a really powerful 5-drop. I don't think there's a lot of other really good 5-drop. Maybe something like... we can't play Hobgoblin, because if you cheat out Hobgoblin, you're just losing. We could maybe play something like Iron Man, but really there's just not a lot of great 5-cost options. I don't really like Professor X, so I would honestly just go with Vision if you have him. If not, maybe like a Gamora or a Spider. I don't think he's like the greatest card in the world, but he is pretty damn strong. And finally, America Chavez. The only reason why I think this card is core is because drawing your Infinaut is such an important win condition, and playing the America Chavez to thin out your deck is going to make it that much more probable that you draw your Infinaut. So you really want to be playing Chavez. Not to mention, again, if you pull her out with Jubilee, you're getting 9 power for free. I mean, it's incredible how much power Jubilee can get out. And then, not to mention, now you have your America Chavez and your Infinaut, which is like, it's insane. So let's talk a little bit about the strengths and weaknesses of this deck, as always. Strengths of this deck is, it's really good. I really think this deck is incredibly good. Like, it has answers to a lot of different things. You have really cool tech cards like Killmonger, Shang-Chi. You have Infinaut, which just, I don't think people just aren't thinking about this card. They're not expecting it at all. They're not ready for it. They'll watch you pass on turn 5 and they don't even realize that you've just gotten 5 power and an Infinaut. Like people are just not ready for this card in Pool 2. They're really not. They're not able to deal with it. The other really good strength about this is that once you've got your Infinaut, and you know that you can win the other lane, so you have like, your Storm, your Jessica Jones, or you have like a Sunspot with an armor. Once everything is set up, you can actually like cube turn 1. I'm not even joking. Or you can snap turn 1 and just start playing for like 8 cubes. This deck has insane swing potential. or it has insane snap potential. You can actually snap super early and start winning like 8 cubes every game. And there's like some times where I go on win streaks and I get like 5 ranks in half an hour, because you're going to be going up and down really, really fast, but more often than not, you're coming up ahead. So I really, really love this deck. It's an absolute pleasure to play. And also, it's got a lot of pool 2 cards, which, I mean, that can be really annoying if you don't have all these cards. It's kind of difficult to play. I would say things like Jubilee are really important. Infinaut, Sunspot are pretty damn important. Storm is pretty important. You can probably make do with Killmonger and Shang-Chi. You can probably get rid of those. Maybe get rid of Vision, maybe Scorpion. But yeah, you probably mess around a little bit. But without Sunspot and Infinaut, don't even think about this deck. The other real weakness of this deck is it's a pretty complicated deck. I think it requires a good amount of game knowledge and thought, and especially learning this deck early required me to really, really start familiarizing myself with what are other decks playing, what's their win condition. And once I started getting better at that, I think I actually became a really good Marvel Snap player in general, because I could really start to visualize how much power they're going to represent. I could start reading into like, okay, they're playing, this is their turn 2, this is their turn 3 play. Now I know what they're going to play on turn 6. I know what to expect. And that's going to put you in positions where you can make really good calculated reads on how to win. It's almost like you kind of can see all 6 turns like playing out in your head. If that's not something you like, if you're, still kind of new to the game, you don't really want to give that thought process, this deck could be a little bit difficult, especially when you start making some more difficult reads with Shang-Chi. You're going to be calculating RNG of your Jubilee, things like that. There is a lot of calculated risks that you're taking with this deck. So, if that's not a style that you like, I would probably stick to something a little bit more on the simple side. But hey, it is a really, really fun deck, so give it a shot if you like it. Let's go into a couple games, this time featuring our Pool 2 Infinaut deck. I really love this deck. I really think that there's so many cool things you can do. I'm never bored with it. And also, you do have like an alternate win condition if your Infinaut doesn't work out. Typically you want to be drawing your Infinaut, don't get me wrong. But if your Infinaut doesn't work out, Vision plus Chavez is like 15 points on its own. So it's really not that bad. Okay, so let's take a look. What do we have here? We got our Sunspot, we got our Scorpion. We don't really want to play Killmonger because it's going to break our Sunspot. So instead, what we can do... Dream Dimension's actually good for us because it means on turn 6, he's not going to really play anything. So what we can actually go ahead and do is, I think we can just play this one out. We don't have to snap early. Let's just chill for now. We play our Sunspot, right? Obviously it's a little scary if he destroys it. I typically am scared of things like Electra, but I'm seeing less of those these days, so I haven't been too worried about it. Okay, Hala on turn 4. This is good. We might want to play for that, but honestly, I think we can just let that one go. Instead, I think I'm going to do something like Scorpion. And on turn 3, this is really important. I'm not going to be Killmonger. I'm not going to do it. It looks like a really cool play, right? Like, oh, we're getting so much value here. But we actually want to pass to build our Sunspot. Over on Sakar, this is pretty scary. After this turn, put a card from each player's hand here. So if Killmonger comes out, we're in trouble. But if it pulls any of these guys out, we've just essentially cheated a new card, which is really good for us. So we're going to go ahead and just pass, get 3 points to Sunspot. Again, it's totally fine because we're just building power on Sunspot. And we're going to keep chilling. Okay, so Killmonger comes out. That's not really good for us, but we'll have to think of a new way. We'll have to think of a new way to win this. And there is going to be a lot of really cool ways that we can win this. So... let's see. In our deck, we have 5 cards left. By the way, this is a good deck that I would probably recommend using like a deck tracker for if you're not already, because it can help to think about what cards you still have. So if I Jubilee, there's 2 cards I can pull. I can pull America Chavez or I can pull my Infinaut, right? So what I'm going to want to do instead is I think I'm going to want to go for... let's see. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and... damn, it's so tricky because Ebony Maw is a bad card to get, but there are 2 really good cards to get. I'm going to go ahead and Jessica Jones this one. Because what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to look for an alternate win condition here. We don't have our Infinaut yet, so I can't really rely on the Infinaut play just yet. So instead, let's just go ahead and hang out for a bit. What we'll go ahead and do... Now there's 4 cards left in our deck. Meaning that there's 2 really good pulls. That would be our Chavez or our Infinaut are really good pulls. And also, now that it's turn 5, we're guaranteed to get Chavez on turn 6, meaning we do not have Infinaut. We do not have Infinaut this game. We're not playing Infinaut, so our only way is to maybe cheat him out. We're not really in the best shape right here, so the best thing we can do, I think, is try to cheat out a Chavez or an Infinaut. Otherwise, yeah, we're going to be in trouble. So, let's keep going. He destroyed a card, which might be good for us, might be bad for us. Let's see what we get. And there it is. We've just won the game off of our Infinaut. I mean, it's so sick. We just won the game. He can't get 11 power on this board. It's just impossible for him. There's no way he's gonna do it. So we'll snap, he retreats, the game's over. Just like that. I mean, if you like this, if you like high rolling like this deck is pretty damn sick. You're not always going to win games like that, so don't worry. It's not going to require you to play like this. And hopefully I can show you just the typical play Sunspot, play Storm. We can try to get one of those games. But, you know, when things are pretty desperate, if you're ready to go and you want to play a Jubilee and try to cheat out your Infinaut, congratulations, you just won just like that. So it is a really cool deck. Here we go! We got Sunspot and Armor. That's so sick. I mean, that's awesome for us. And we have our Infinaut. We have everything we need to win this game. We're snapping. I mean, there's no reason not to, right? We're winning this game every single time. Every single time we're winning this game. Well, not every... I mean, we could lose. That's still possible, but... So I made a mistake there by not playing the Sunspot. That was pretty silly of me. But... we can make this work. We can make this work. What we're gonna do is play this. I should have played the Sunspot. I don't know why I didn't. Not really sure why I messed that up. I think I got too excited, but that's okay. We'll play the Scorpion here. And next turn, we're gonna play Armor Sunspot. We're just gonna play Armor Sunspot. Yeah, so here's kind of the mistake I made. If I had played the Sunspot on turn 1, I could have also played this Ebony Maw here. And now Ebony Maw is going to make this, like, insane. But, guess what? Even with that massive mistake, I still am really confident. I'm actually so confident that I can win. I'm so confident I can win. So I'm just going to chill. Cards like Nidavellir are not very good for us, actually, because... it represents a lot of power that he can very easily overcome with just playing, you know, regular cards. So we're actually going to chill. We're going to hang out. We're going to just chill. Don't have to do anything yet. Okay, he plays Brood. Good for us. Now this one is locked down. We never ever lose this anymore. So now what do we do? Okay. Let's just hang out. Oh, look at this. Killmonger, very good to see if we can target this number. But we're going to pass. We're just gonna pass. We're just passing. Because why not? We don't have to do anything.
Enough said, bub.
Alright, and here we go.
Opponent snapped.
Here is sort of the tricky thing that we need to think about here. Because he destroys this, these are all going to get buffed. What could he play to destroy this? Well, he doesn't even want to destroy it. We can do a couple things here. We can play Sunspot, right? I don't know if I like this, because if he destroys the Nova, this is now losing with Infinaut, right? Because this is 20 power, this is 21 power. So I like this guy here, because he's going to have to do a good amount. However, he might just not destroy this, and if he doesn't destroy it, we're kind of in trouble. This is a pretty interesting play to do. He could either destroy it, or he could not destroy it. I think he's going to not destroy it. I think I'm going to go for this. It's a bit of a 50-50 here, but I think he's gonna not destroy it. I don't think you destroy it here. I don't think that makes sense. Wow, he is gonna destroy it. Oh, damn! That's so weird. Why would he do that? And it's actually gonna buff. Okay, so we lose this one, but it was pretty close. Kind of sucks. It's pretty close, honestly. Like 1 point off. If we had played that Sunspot, we would have actually, I think we would have won this game pretty handily, because I would have just been able to play it here. But I'm not 100% sure. But that's okay. That's a kind of a good way to show just how this deck works, though. Again, big mistake there, not playing the Ebony Maw, but you do get into a couple of these weird turn 6 situations where, yeah, you get into a couple of these turn 6 situations where you might have to coin flip and you might have to read what your opponent is doing. Personally, I didn't think he would destroy there. I thought that he might try to just do nothing. But it's hard. It's a hard read, and it's things to think about every time. Death's Domain is really, really good for us because it's going to allow us to Storm and change it. So I'm actually okay to go ahead and snap this because we got our Infinaut and we have our Storm. Okay, he's going to Squirrel Girl. I don't care. I really don't care. Doesn't mean anything to me. All we need now is we need a turn 4 play. That's the only thing we need. After you play a card here, shuffle 3 Vibranium in your deck. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to develop Storm and then play Jessica Jones, I think.
Enough said, bub.
Ooh, this is really tricky. After you play a card here, return it to your hand. I think we're actually going to go ahead and play for this one instead. He has a little bit too much power here, but I think if I play for this instead, it's going to let me actually try to set up Luke's bar. And also his cards are going to get revealed first, so anything he plays is going to go back to his hand. And then I can play my Jessica Jones next turn, and then I can play my Infinaut here, and I'm pretty sure I'm winning. So here we go, Storm comes out. And now we have an option, right? We gotta think, okay, which one of our turn 4 win conditions do we want? Do we want our Jessica Jones? Do we want our Jubilee? Well, Jessica Jones is pretty much a guaranteed 8 power. Jubilee, the only good card she can still pull out is Chavez and Ebony Maw. So Ebony Maw would represent 8 power, Chavez would represent 10 power. We have 5 cards, that's 2 good pulls. 2 out of 5, 40%. I don't really like those odds, so we're going to go with Jessica Jones instead. It's just a little too risky, and we kind of have to win this lane. Okay, so we've got a really interesting thing here, right? And that's, how do we win this one? Because we are in a bit of a weird position here. And that's, I'm not 100% sure we can win this with Infinaut. Not 100% sure. So I gotta see if I can think of a way. This is gonna go up to 13, so he's gonna have to do 7 power. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna try to play for Death's Domain. Now, how am I gonna play for Death's Domain? Play Vision. Because again, he could. It's a little too risky for me. I don't know what he's gonna go for here.
Enough said, bub.
Does this card get destroyed? Wait, what? Okay. Wait, why did this card? Oh, this card can't be destroyed. Well, that's super interesting. So there is a really cool thing we can do here, right? Vibranium can't be destroyed, which means if he plays a Vibranium here, well, what we basically want to do is we want to move Vision here. But if he plays another Vibranium here, we're kind of in trouble. So what do we do? Well, like Killmonger. Gonna destroy any Vibraniums he have, and he reveals first. So the only thing left to do after that is we just want to develop a little bit more power in this one. If we play this, it gets destroyed. If we play Armor, first off, it's more power, and it's indestructible. So now we have 10 here. Kill off anything here, and we have 10 here. I think we're winning. Let's snap and get ready to go. I think we're winning. I hope we can get one game just kind of showcasing like the Infinaut just slap down. I really think he's probably just going to play a Vibranium here, and he's going to be really, really sad when he sees this Killmonger come out. Oh, I forgot Killmonger can't destroy it, but that's okay. We play armor anyways. Oh, whoops. I'm silly. I forgot Killmonger can't destroy those. Okay, my bad. But we win anyways. You can see this deck is like, there's a lot of really weird interactions, and I feel like every game I'm like, I have to like constantly think like, okay, how does this work? How's that? Like, there's just so much weird stuff that's happening, and you're reacting to so much of what your opponent is doing. But like, the deck is just really complicated. All right, so I wanted to just showcase one more game where we can kind of, you know, just a standard play the Infinaut. So let's go ahead and just end our turn here. Now, can't really do anything. This comes out pretty bad to hit our Storm. We don't really like that. So instead, what we're going to be trying to do is either play for Nexus or do something a little different. So instead, let's go ahead and just armor up. Because we're just going to play all our stuff on Nexus, basically. Why not? Let's just play everything on Nexus. And I feel pretty good about this, so I'm actually going to go ahead and snap this one really early, because I think that the power push from Infinaut is going to be too much for him to deal with otherwise. It's just too much. He can't do anything about it. There's like, what can he do? There's too much power coming out. His best thing would be like double dinosaurs, which I don't even know if that's enough. Okay, turn 6, you can move cards to this location. We don't really care. Go ahead and do Killmonger. And destroy our Iceman and develop more power on the board. The other thing that we could think about doing is trying to do Storm to like basically break this, but I don't know if I like that a ton.
Assemble.
So instead, we're just gonna wait. And here we go. We got our Sunspot, right? So we're gonna play our Sunspot. We're gonna pass. It's gonna develop 3 power on its own. The only thing I'm scared about here is like a Moon Girl, because again, if he Moon Girls, I'm thinking he might have a double Dino play, which is quite a lot of power to deal with. So instead, I'm just going to basically hope he doesn't Moon Girl, because Moon Girl is the only thing that loses us the game now. But we pass. We're going to pass on turn 5, and then we're going to play our Infinaut. It's going to represent quite a lot of power that I don't know if he's going to be able to beat with anything else. So let's see what he has. Probably looks like no Moon Girl. Good for us. Scarlet Witch. Don't care. I don't care. Again, really don't care. But boom. We're just going to do nothing again. Let our Sunspot keep building. Because, again, Nexus is crazy. He's going to have to develop an absolute ton of power if he wants to beat this. Claw goes here. And now comes our Infinaut. And it's going to make a ton of power here. Mojo World kind of sucks. Any of these cards that are like Mojo World or Nidavellir, they can be a little tricky to play with because we can't deal with them as well. But he has to basically overcome... It's going to add 20 power to this. So we're going to be at 34. He has to overcome 16 points of power. 16 power in one turn is quite a lot. I don't think he has 16 power. So let's just go ahead, play it out. Oh, and he does not have enough. It's very, very close. This double claw play was actually really, really smart. But we're just winning these 2 locations with our Infinaut. And again, our Sunspot just... He climbs and he's 1 mana, 6 costs. It's just crazy how... Or was that 8? Yeah, it's like 8 power for 1. It's just... It's really, really strong how much you can get done with that Sunspot. So yeah, this deck's really awesome. Definitely give it a shot. Again, this is what I've been using to climb like... close to 150. It's a really, really insane deck. I think I took it from like 120. Been playing it for like a week or so now. And again, once I hit that Storm, it's just been awesome. And we're right here at 478. So we have all of our pool 2 cards. We're about to move into pool 3. But I've already been seeing pool 3 cards and still being able to hang with them. So you know, if you got all your pool 2 cards, give it a shot. Have some fun with this deck. And I'll see you guys in the next video.